You're listening to the Cool Audio Podcast, your escape into the world of stories, sounds, and imagination. Whether you're driving, chilling at home, or just need a moment to unplug, we've got a story just for you. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. At Cooper Family Mansion. Ever since the mysterious death of the general, Old Master Cooper had retired early to recuperate. Although the higher-ups invited him to return many times, the old man refused. After losing his beloved grandson, he seemed to have aged a lot overnight. No matter how impressive he used to be, he only wanted to live in seclusion. "Dad, Master Thorin is here," Mrs. Cooper said softly as she knocked on the door. "Let him in." Grandpa Cooper put down his teacup. Master Thorin was wearing a green shirt and a bracelet that Justin had given him. On the whole, Master Thorin was much cleaner than before. Perhaps it was a habit he only picked up after coming to the city. After Master Thorin entered, he nodded at the old man. "Sit." Mrs. Cooper knew that the old man must have something important to say to Master Thorin, so she left, inside the study room of the Cooper residence. At first, the old man was just chatting with Master Thorin. Then, the two of them almost finished a pot of tea. Finally, Grandpa Cooper said, "Thorin, I know you're quite capable. Otherwise, my unruly grandson wouldn't have acknowledged you as his master." No, just treat me as a swindler." Master Thorin smiled mischievously. "To be honest, you should know why I called you over today." "I know. It's about Justin." Master Thorin was well aware. Justin's incident became a thorn for the Cooper family. Justin being unconscious forever became a wound to everyone. Grandpa Cooper nodded after seeing that he was being clear. "Yes, it's about Justin." "Old Master, forgive me for being blunt, but I really can't save Justin. Maybe there are those kinds of experts in this world, but I'm not capable enough. Even if you exhaust me to death, I won't be able to find an exit for Justin. I'm really sorry." Before the old man could say anything, Master Thorin explained everything. Justin had been unconscious for over a year. Chloe's third child had already learned how to walk. In the past year or so, everyone visited Justin almost every week, as if he was really asleep. Chloe insisted on going every week and would talk to Justin alone. Sometimes she came with the twins, and sometimes with her third child. Anne and Master Thorin had been staying in Justin's private mansion, unwilling to leave, even though they knew Justin wouldn't wake up. In the past year, almost everyone had asked Master Thorin this question, including Chloe at the start. She even said that she wanted to accompany Justin in the dream. But Master Thorin was really helpless. When Justin entered the dream for the second time, Master Thorin had already warned him sternly and told him the consequences. However, Justin still did it without any regrets. He knew the consequences, but he still went in. This was his own choice. It was understandable that everyone wanted to save him, but Master Thorin couldn't do it, so he felt that it was better to talk things out when Old Master was meeting him alone. It's best for him to not give everyone hope. "Thorin, you might have misunderstood. I didn't ask you to come here today to save Justin. I know you don't have the ability, so I won't make things difficult for you." "Sir? Then you are—" Master Thorin was a little surprised as he looked at the white-haired old man. "I actually want to ask you a question." "Please ask." "If Justin dies in the real world, will his soul leave the dream realm?" Grandpa Cooper asked with a heavy expression. When Master Thorin heard this, he was shocked. "Old Master, you mean—" Grandpa Cooper glanced at Master Thorin. "Answer my question first." "Old Master, to be honest, I don't know if it will happen, but the situation right now is just like this. Justin isn't dead. He's just unconscious. You can think of it as his body still being here, but his soul is trapped in the incubus. That place is incomparably desolate. Justin won't die there and can't leave. If Justin's body is gone, or if he's dead, then he'll be dead in the dream. As for the people who died in the incubus, I don't know where their souls went. Of course, there's one thing I'm sure of. After he dies, his soul will no longer be in the dream. So what you're saying is, if we don't do anything and allow Justin to remain unconscious like this, he might be trapped forever. Even if we guard a soulless body, we might never be able to see hope. But if he dies, there might be a different ending. Old Master, you need to think twice. I know what you're trying to do, but here's the problem. If Justin's not dead, his body will still be here. Maybe when the time comes, or if we run into an expert, we can save him. But he might never wake up. He'll always be in a vegetative state, the old master interrupted. Master Thorin replied anxiously. But if he's really dead, then he'll disappear forever. His body and soul will be gone. You and Justin will have nothing to do with each other anymore. Whether he's reincarnated or transmigrated to his past life, Justin will disappear from this world. I know. The old master lowered his head and said in a heavy tone, Old Master, are you thinking of... Master Thorin seemed to have guessed what the old master was thinking. These are my thoughts. I don't want to see Justin live his life like a good-for-nothing. I'd rather start a new life for him. Even if he has nothing to do with me from now on, and he's no longer a part of the Cooper family. I don't want him to live alone in that barren place for the rest of his life. Compared to death, what's scarier is endless loneliness, right? The old man's words shocked Master Thorin so much that he couldn't say a word. As expected of an elder, a big shot and someone who had led a lifetime of soldiers, he was unyielding. Master Thorin understood that in this world, Grandpa Cooper was probably the one who loved Justin the most. He loved Justin more than anyone else, but because of this love, he couldn't watch his grandson in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. Therefore, he would rather give up his love. Then, do Justin's parents agree? After a while, Master Thorin asked. I will discuss this matter with them. I called you here today to ask about the consequences. If you want to put it that way, indeed. Although this method is a little cruel, it's undeniable that this might be a solution. Perhaps it's better than him being in a vegetative state for his entire life? The night after Master Thorin left, Grandpa Cooper called everyone over for a meeting. Everyone related to Justin was present. Chloe, Jack, Max, Avery, Brenton, Victoria, Noah, and Sarah. Everyone except Cece and the kids who had been brought to the States by Rick was there. Grandpa Cooper, everyone's here. You can announce it now. Jack knew that Grandpa Cooper had something important to announce, or else he wouldn't have gathered so many people. The old master looked around and sighed. I plan to give Justin euthanasia. His words shocked everyone. Grandpa Cooper, why... Chloe was almost crying. Everyone was thinking about how to save Justin, but Grandpa Cooper wanted to give him euthanasia. Was he still his biological grandfather? Chloe's question was what everyone wanted to ask. Chloe, don't be rash. Listen to Grandpa Cooper first. Jack was the most rational of them all. Although Grandpa Cooper was old, he wasn't foolish at all. In his entire life, he had been a high and mighty figure. What kind of big decision had he not made? Why would he harm his own grandson for no reason? So when everyone quietened down again, Grandpa Cooper repeated what he said to Master Thorin. Everyone fell silent again. Victoria calmed down first and asked, Grandpa Cooper, can you really bring yourself to do it? Grandpa Cooper looked at everyone and slowly said, When I think about how lonely Justin is in that desolate place, I wish I was a heartless grandfather. That's why I didn't make this decision today on impulse. It's been a year. Everyone wants him to wake up, but we all know that he won't. If this goes on, year after year, even if I die, you guys will be too old to wait until the day Justin wakes up. When I think about how lonely he is in that place, my heart hurts. There's no grandfather in this world who doesn't dote on his grandson. I feel 100 times worse than you guys when I make this decision, but I have to make a decision quickly. After Grandpa Cooper finished speaking, no one said anything because they didn't know what to say. Chloe was already leaning on Jack, sobbing quietly. After giving birth to her third child, Chloe had been suffering from postpartum depression for a long time. Fortunately, Jack accompanied her day and night, and she slowly walked out of it. However, Justin was still a name she didn't dare to mention. It became her greatest weakness. Now that Grandpa Cooper was going to inject Justin with euthanasia, it was equivalent to killing him. Although Justin wasn't awake yet, his body was still there. At least it reminded everyone of the person they were missing. However, if he were to be injected with euthanasia, according to the rules of the high-ranking family members, his corpse would be cremated. Then he would be buried in the northern cemetery. Then Justin would never come back. Or rather, he would disappear from this world forever. Seeing that no one said anything, and they were feeling extremely sad, Mr. Cooper took off his glasses and wiped his tears. As Justin's father, I also want to say a few words. I know that everyone treats him well and can't bear to part with him. Grandpa Cooper loves his grandson, and all of you can see that. Although my father's decision is a little cruel, logically speaking, it might be Justin's last chance. So I hope that everyone can agree to it and give us some strength, so that we can make this decision and help Justin be freed. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Cooper collapsed on the floor in tears. Chloe quickly helped Mrs. Cooper up and sent her to her room to rest. Ever since she returned from the Cooper family, Chloe's heart had been heavy. She did not say a word throughout the entire journey. She just kept looking out of the car window. Chloe, if you don't want to, I'll talk to Grandpa Cooper later. Jack knew that Chloe didn't want Justin to die of euthanasia. No, since Grandpa Cooper has already decided, we shouldn't interfere. After all, this is the best outcome for Justin. Chloe held back her tears. She didn't want to cry, but her heart was already filled with devastation. The day Justin was euthanized happened to be the beginning of May. It was already spring in the northern region of the city, inside Justin's personal villa. Everyone was dressed in black to send him off. Looking at Justin, who was still unconscious on the bed, Chloe felt extremely complicated. How about I do it? Jack wanted to snatch the needle away from Chloe when he saw she could not bring herself to do it. Unexpectedly, Chloe dodged. Jack's parents took the twins out to play so that they would avoid this scene. Chloe held a syringe in her hand, her fingers trembling. Master Thorne could not bear to see this. He turned his head and did not dare to look. Chloe, do it. Seeing that Chloe didn't act on it after a long while, Grandpa Cooper said sternly. As expected of someone from the military, he was still bold and resolute. His sentence was like an order. Chloe bit her lip. Then, she walked over and lifted Justin's arm. She slowly injected this concoction that determined his life or death into the blood vessel on his arm. Then, everyone saw Chloe's tear-stained face. Perhaps no one knew how she felt right now. She thought back to many years ago when she had first met Justin. Due to his ligament injury from the car accident, Justin stayed at the South Side to recuperate. There were so many young and beautiful nurses who tried to inject Justin with needles, but Justin kicked them out. There was even a nurse whose head was smashed by Justin's ashtray. The situation was dangerous. As a nurse, Chloe had just arrived at the South Side. She was a newborn calf that didn't fear tigers, so she was used by others and sent to Justin's room. With her extraordinary courage and technical skills, Justin was finally convinced. Justin had even developed some confusing feelings towards her. Before he met Chloe, Justin had many women. After he met Chloe, Justin only liked her. All of this started from the hospital's injection. Now, Chloe gave Justin one last injection, hoping to end his eternal loneliness. Everyone hoped that Justin could escape from the incubus because of this. After the injection, Justin's lips turned purple. Chloe felt her vision go dark. Then she lost consciousness. When Chloe woke up again, Justin's funeral was over. He was buried in a cemetery in the northern suburbs, a place with excellent scenery. For a long time, Chloe didn't dare to go. She didn't dare to face the fact that Justin was dead. When Aiden started to speak, it was about 18 months. When Aiden was learning to talk, Chloe taught him to say, "Handsome Cooper." Then, she took the little fellow to pay respect to Justin. Melody went to Justin's funeral as well. She wore a long black dress and looked beautiful that day. She had a smile on her face throughout and didn't cry. She told herself not to. She said that Justin had ended his loneliness and escaped from the dream he was trapped in, and his soul was freed. This was a good thing, a great thing. After Justin died, the Cooper family moved out. Perhaps because they did not dare to stay, or perhaps they were afraid that everyone would be worried. The Cooper family all moved to a small town in the south and lived a simple and tranquil life. Chloe and Jack visited them every year with their 3 children, and entered the Imperial Star and became Melody's personal bodyguard to protect her. Master Thorin went to travel the world, and no one knew his whereabouts anymore. In the dream, Justin lay in the desert. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he felt like his days were endless. Until one day, he suddenly felt that his body had become lighter. Then, he continuously ascended, and finally left this place. When he opened his eyes and woke up again, he saw the familiar ceiling. "Son, you're awake. You almost scared me to death." The first thing Justin saw was a woman leaning over his bed, who was, "Mom, why are you here?" Justin was used to being alone in the incubus. He thought he would always be alone. He did not expect to see his mother when he opened his eyes. How ecstatic would he be? "Justin, have you become dumb? I heard you were in a car accident, so of course I came here immediately. Thank goodness you're fine. It's just a ligament injury." A car accident? A ligament pull? Justin was obviously dumbfounded. What was going on? His mother continued to talk about something, but Justin didn't have the patience to listen. He simply reached out and hugged his mother's neck tightly. "Mom, I love you so much." Mrs. Cooper was slightly taken aback by her son's sudden confession. "You almost scared me to death. Now that you've died once, you should know how precious life is. Let's see if you still want to continue acting like this. Are you still going to be racing or not?" Justin only smiled and didn't say anything else. "I didn't dare to tell your grandfather and father about this. Otherwise, they would definitely scold you." "Thank you, Mom. You still dote on me the most." "All right, you just woke up. Rest well first. I'll go talk to your doctor about your condition and then go home to make you something to eat. What do you want to eat?" "Pickled dumplings," Justin said with a cheeky smile. "You glutton, just you wait." Then, Mrs. Cooper gracefully walked out of the ward. Justin finally caught his breath. What was going on? Wasn't he trapped in the incubus? Was he dreaming? That wasn't right. Master Thorin had said that in the incubus, one wouldn't grow old or die, feel hungry or thirsty, or even feel anything. One would feel like a living corpse. Of course, he wouldn't be dreaming inside. So what was going on? Before he could figure it out, the door was pushed open again. "President Cooper, I heard about your accident the moment I got off the plane. I was so frightened. Are you okay? Where are you hurt? Let me see." Just listening to her voice made one's scalp tingle. This coquettish voice was extremely recognizable. Justin turned around and saw Zoe. She walked towards him with her tea-colored sunglasses and her Hermès platinum purse, with her hips swaying side to side. "Don't touch me." Seeing her reach out to touch his hand, Justin immediately scolded her. "President Cooper, what's wrong with you? Are you blaming me for being late? I took the earliest flight. I swear, I came as soon as I heard about your accident." Zoe sobbed. Justin was a little confused, but then he realized something. Zoe was still alive, and she was a celebrity? His ligament was injured? A car accident? Could it be that he had transmigrated? He had transmigrated to many years ago, when he first met Chloe? At this thought, Justin's heart began to race. If it was really this year, he would probably see Chloe soon. At this thought, Justin couldn't wait to ask Zoe, "What year is it now?" 2016. Zoe was also confused. "Is the most advanced phone on the market 6S? Justin asked excitedly. Zoe nodded in a daze. "Then is this Southside Hospital?" "President Cooper, what's wrong?" Zoe was terrified, thinking that Justin was possessed. "Answer me, is this Southside Hospital?" Justin asked anxiously. Zoe quickly replied, "This is the Southside Hospital. President Cooper, calm down." "Seems like I'm really—" Justin couldn't contain his joy. Why did Master Thorin say that he would be trapped in the incubus forever? Wasn't he back now? Haha, could it be that his character was too good? "President Cooper, you go out first. I want to be alone for a while." "President Cooper, Get out." "Yes." Seeing President Cooper's firm attitude, Zoe didn't dare to continue behaving coquettishly. After all, she knew that this young master had a bad temper. After Zoe left, Justin wanted to get up and go find Chloe. However, his ligament was injured and he could not move freely. At this moment, he raised his hand smartly. He pressed the emergency bell beside his bed. After 3 beeps, a young nurse immediately rushed into the ward. "Young Master Cooper, what can I do for you?" "Where's Chloe? Tell her to come see me." Justin's heart raced. He never thought that he would have the chance to see Chloe again. So when he realized he was back, the first thing he did was to search for Chloe. As for Max and Brenton, he wasn't in a hurry. He could slowly find them since they wouldn't run away. "Chloe?" The nurse was stunned. "Don't you have a nurse named Chloe here?" There is one, but she's resting today." "Get her to see me right now," Justin said excitedly. "Young Master Cooper, Chloe's gone home to rest. We don't have the right to ask her to come back. How about tomorrow?" "Call your hospital director over." "Huh?" "Get your director to see me. Hurry up and stop talking nonsense." 15 minutes later, Director Richard had just finished his meeting when Justin called him to his room. Then, he made only one request. "I want to see Chloe immediately, no matter what method you use." Director Richard didn't know what relationship Justin had with this little nurse named Chloe, but seeing how anxious and determined this young master was, he didn't dare to offend him. Therefore, he immediately called Chloe. At that time, Chloe was eating at home. Sandra had prepared scallion pancakes and tomato soup. Halfway through her meal, Chloe received a call from the director asking her to go back to the hospital. Chloe reluctantly got up and left with a pancake in her hand. "Aren't you on break? Why are you still going back?" her mother asked. "The director said that there's something urgent at the hospital." "It's okay, Mom. You guys eat first. Don't wait for me. I'll just warm up the food when I get back." "Sis, be careful," Thomas said. "No problem." Director Richard told Chloe to call a cab because it was an emergency. He told her that the hospital would reimburse her. Chloe hailed a taxi and headed straight to Southside. When she arrived at Southside, the nurse at the reception desk mysteriously told her, "Go to young Master Cooper's ward." "Young Master Cooper?" The patient said to have a bad temper. Chloe was confused and didn't have time to change into her white coat. She wore a white casual jacket. Inside was a simple short-sleeved t-shirt with a pair of light blue jeans and flats. She was also carrying a medium-sized bag. It had the design of Winnie the Pooh, which cost only a few $100s. Chloe pushed the door open, but before she could see what was inside, she suddenly felt a tall and blurry figure pouncing over and hugging her tightly. No one knew how excited Justin was at that moment. He pounced over like a hungry wolf, afraid that everything was a dream. He was afraid that when he wakes up from his dream, everything would disappear. Then, he would have to return to that damn desert. "Hey, what are you doing?" Chloe pushed him away. Then, she looked at Justin with disdain. Justin, on the other hand, couldn't express his surprise and excitement. "Chloe, it's so good to see you again." His eyes were red. Director Richard coughed awkwardly and said quietly, "Chloe, you know young Master Cooper?" Chloe shook her head in confusion. Justin, on the other hand, said with a cheeky smile, "It's okay, old Richard. Go do your thing. We'll get to know each other soon." "He's so shameless," Chloe muttered. You guys go ahead." Director Richard felt like his presence was unwanted and wanted to leave. "Director, didn't you tell me that there was an emergency?" Chloe looked at the director, not giving up. "Yes, young Master Cooper wanted to see you." "Huh?" Chloe was confused again. Was this the bullshit reason she had to spend $30, get a cab, and rush over without finishing her meal? "Young Master Cooper, right? What's the matter?" Upon hearing that he was looking for her, Chloe rolled her eyes impatiently. However, Justin wasn't angry at all. He reached out his hand and said pitifully, "Chloe, the nurses at your hospital have terrible acupuncture skills. They almost made me blind. I heard that your skills are the best here. From today onwards, you give me the IV drip, okay?" "I'm on break today." Chloe gave him another look of disdain. "I can give you overtime pay." "Don't think money can buy me," Chloe said righteously. $3,000 a day, Justin added. Stunned, Chloe glanced at Justin and said, "Deal." Indeed, everyone loved money. Chloe felt like she didn't need to go against money. After hearing what Justin said, she felt more motivated to work. Chloe ran over with the IV tray and equipment. Then, Justin obediently lay on the bed and waited for Chloe to inject him. He looked like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. "Do you know me?" Chloe suddenly asked. Justin shook his head. He refused to admit it because Chloe didn't know him yet. He didn't want her to think he was crazy. "Then why did you call me Chloe just now?" Chloe was indeed a meticulous Virgo and noticed something amiss. "I heard it from the other nurses here." "But I'm not familiar with you." "I know," Justin smiled. "So don't ever call me Chloe." "Okay." Justin continued to smile. "It's my first time seeing such a strange patient like you. Are you that happy to be fractured?" Chloe glanced at Justin's face as if she was looking at an idiot. It's my honor to be hospitalized at Southside. I'm even more honored to have Green Beauty inject me personally." Justin's mouth was as sweet as honey. "You're pretty good at picking up girls. Too bad I don't take it. Okay, I'm done. Don't move around. Be careful of rolling needles." Chloe picked up the tray and was about to leave. "Chloe, I told you not to call me Chloe." Chloe turned around and glared at him. However, to Justin, her angry look was very charming. Okay, Chloe." "Anything else?" She looked at him warily. "Hello, Chloe. My name is Justin. Please take care of me in the future," Justin said slowly as he looked at Chloe. Crazy. Chloe left after saying that. If it weren't for the overtime pay of $3,000, she wouldn't have given this abnormal fellow an injection. $3,000 wasn't a lot, but it was enough to cover Thomas's living expenses for 2 months. Therefore, sometimes, Chloe had no bottom line for money. After Chloe left, Justin lay on the hospital bed and looked at his arm. He felt so blessed after Chloe's injection. Those who didn't know would think that he was crazy. But he knew himself. He wasn't crazy. There had never been a time when he'd been more awake than this moment. This hard-won happiness. Even though he knew he still had no chance of winning after transmigrating back to this time since Chloe already had Jack. Judging from this, Chloe and Jack were probably already married in secret. However, it was enough for him to see Chloe again. Hearing her speak and seeing her bright eyes. Justin raised his left hand that did not have the IV drip and touched his neck. The amulet was still there. He looked at his left wrist. The peace rope that Master Thorin had given him was also here. These items constantly reminded him that he was from the future. Suddenly, he thought of something and made a call. A second later, Brenton and Max rushed in. "Young Master Cooper, how is it? You injured that leg. Will it affect your posture?" Sure enough, young Master Max still spoke dirty, just like his personality. Brenton didn't say anything and just smiled at Justin. Seeing his old friend again, he felt excited. However, Justin had to pretend to be calm. "You guys came to visit me empty-handed?" "What else? Do I have to bring a rooster for you?" Max teased. Justin was speechless. "Or black chicken soup?" Brenton added. "I'm not in confinement. Stop bullshitting me." Justin was speechless. "Haha, that's enough. Young Master Cooper, how did you get into an accident this time? Your driving skills are godlike. How could you lose to that kid?" "No, his car was tampered with. He lost control and almost fell over the cliff." "You saved him?" Max was surprised. "I guess so. I couldn't just watch him and his car flip over." Justin thought back to the car accident many years ago, when he had a ligament tear and was hospitalized at Southside. He had been racing with a young racer, but that young man's car had malfunctioned. He had almost died in the accident. Justin saved him in a moment of desperation, but he was stuck, and his ligament was injured. Speaking of which, this was one of the most low-profile things Justin had ever done. Wow, our young Master Cooper is even doing charity now. Don't just spout nonsense. When I'm better, should we arrange a drinking party? I want to drink, Justin said eagerly. He couldn't remember how long it had been since he last drank with these two fellows. No problem. You can drink whatever you want in my wine cellar after you recover. Max was generous. At this moment, the door to the ward opened again. Boss? When Anne walked in, Justin felt his nose sting as he felt touched. This brat had been following him for many years. Even in the dreams, he never left him behind. After everyone left the dream, he wondered how Anne was doing. Boss, the thing you asked me to investigate, Anne was about to speak. Justin interrupted him. Ahem. There's no rush. We'll talk about it later. Go get us something to drink. I want orange juice. Justin sent Anne away. After Max and Breton left, Justin called Anne in alone. Boss, I found out what you wanted me to find out. How is it? Justin wanted to ask how long Jack had been back and how long he and Chloe had been secretly married. Boss, are you mistaken? There's no one named Jack. At least we don't have one here. If we check all the household registers in the country, there are many, but their ages and educational background don't match. Most importantly, the Miss Green you asked me to check on did have a boyfriend, but his name is Simon Baker. I heard they've broken up and Miss Green is single now. What did you say? Justin looked at Anne in shock, and was shocked by his boss's question. He stammered, Boss, please recall carefully. Did you remember the name wrongly? We really didn't find Jack Dawson. Impossible. Justin firmly rejected Anne's report. How could Jack not exist? He was the man Chloe loved the most in her life, his most powerful rival. Then, should I investigate further? Hurry! Justin was a little confused. He waved his hand and asked Anne to go out first. Then, he lay on the bed, feeling extremely complicated. He did not know what he was experiencing now, but he did come back. He touched the edge of the bed and looked at everything in the ward. It didn't seem like a dream. However, it was hard to say. The dreamscape created by the dream creators was exactly the same as the real one. Could it be that he had encountered an incubus again? Jack wasn't in the incubus? For a moment, Justin's imagination ran wild. He thought about everything he could think of and tried to convince himself. The next morning, Chloe came over to give Justin an injection in the morning as instructed. She was wearing a loose white coat. Justin was eating breakfast when she walked in. Mrs. Cooper was feeding her son porridge. You're not finished yet. Then I'll come back later. Chloe saw Justin eating and turned around to leave. No, I'm done. Come and give me the injection. Justin hurriedly wiped his mouth. Son, didn't you eat just a few bites? Mrs. Cooper looked at her son in surprise. She didn't understand him. Mom, I don't have any appetite. I'm not eating anymore. Please go out for a while. I need to get an injection. So what if it's an injection? Why does it matter if I go out or not? Mrs. Cooper was confused. Justin smiled. How is that the same? You're in the room and I'm nervous. If my hand shakes and the nurse stabs me in the wrong position, who will be responsible? All right, my great mother. Please leave. Be good. Justin coaxed his mother out of the room. He and Chloe were the only ones left in the room. Chloe was wearing a pair of black-framed glasses and looked old-fashioned. After all, the nurses at Southside were all dressed sexily, while Chloe was dressed appropriately. Was she doing this on purpose? You didn't eat anything. If you were to get an IV, your stomach might feel uncomfortable. Do you really not want to eat anymore? Chloe looked at him and asked like a professional nurse. Sure, why don't you feed me? Justin grinned at Chloe. You're not my son. Why should I feed you? As expected, even if time had passed, even in the dream, Chloe was still Chloe Green. She was sharp-tongued and had no room for negotiation. Justin had experienced it many years ago. At that time, he felt aggrieved. Now that Chloe rebutted him again, he was filled with happiness. After Chloe finished injecting Justin, she looked at the IV. Don't move. Watch yourself. There are 3 bottles today. When you are ready to change the dressing, ring the bell and call me. Can't you stay and watch my IV? I spent a lot of money at your hospital, Justin teased. Do you think you're the only patient here? I need to go next door. If you want someone to look after you, why don't you hire a personal nurse? Then, Chloe stood up to leave. Hey, Chloe, no, Miss Green, do you know Jack? Justin asked frantically. Actually, after asking this question, he regretted it. What if the answer wasn't what he wanted? Wouldn't he be creating trouble for himself? Chloe froze upon hearing Jack's name. Then she shook her head. No. Justin stared at her. The gaze in the eyes would never tell lies. Plus, Chloe never lied. After speaking, Chloe opened the door and left. Justin, on the other hand, couldn't contain his joy. There really was no Jack. Last night, he asked Anne to check again and again, but he still couldn't find Jack Dawson. Most importantly, There was no GK Corporation or the Dawson family. What Justin didn't know was why such a bug would appear after time went back. Without Jack, how ecstatic was Justin? He no longer had to bear the crime of being a third party, and he no longer had to secretly love Chloe and be friends with her forever. The information Anne brought back showed Chloe's love life. When she was in university, she had a boyfriend named Simon. Later, both families decided to buy a house and get married. Chloe broke up when she found out that Simon had an affair with a nurse from the first hospital. Then, she was transferred to Southside. Everything was exactly the same as before, except that Jack was missing. Could this be a special gift from God? Justin was so emotional that he wanted to cry. He never thought he would have the chance to experience such a moment. Just then, Mrs. Cooper came back and went into the kitchen. She heated up the porridge and continued to serve it to Justin. "Come on, son. Have some more food or you'll feel sick in your stomach." "Mom, I'll do it myself." Justin happily picked up the spoon with his other hand and took a big gulp. "Be careful. No one's fighting you for it. Don't scald yourself." "Mom, you're so beautiful today. This dress is beautiful. Is it the one I gave you for your birthday?" "Well, you've got good taste, kid. Your dad also said this style suits me." Mrs. Cooper was in a good mood and adjusted the scarf around her neck. "This women's clothing brand is pretty good. I'll buy more for you when I go to Europe next time." "Hey, what's wrong with you today? You seem to be in a good mood." Mrs. Cooper realized that her son, who always had a bad temper, was in a good mood that day. He was still in the mood to compliment her dress, and even promised to buy her a new dress. The sun really rose from the west. Although Justin had always been filial and treated her well, his son would never tell her that he was buying her a dress. "Mom, I like a girl." Mrs. Cooper froze. Then Mrs. Cooper sighed. "I know. Isn't she the girl who's been acting in the period drama in your company recently? She's pretty good looking, but I'm sure you know that your grandfather doesn't like people in the entertainment industry. If you like her, you can date her first. When it's really time for marriage, you can ask her to leave the entertainment industry and keep a low profile for a while before bringing her back for everyone to see." The elders were always very cautious when it came to relationships. Mrs. Cooper didn't like the tabloids. She was a real noble lady who was well-mannered. However, she paid a lot of attention to her son. She knew very well what Justin's entertainment company did every year and who he supported. When Mrs. Cooper found out that her son was supporting a girl named Zoe, she thought that Justin was referring to her. Who knew? He was referring to someone else. "Mom, it's not Zoe. She's not from my company. I'm just putting on a show at the company. I really like this girl." "How do you like her? Tell your mom more," Mrs. Cooper smiled as she peeled an apple. "When I see her, my heart starts racing. Then I feel like all the flowers in the world are blooming," Justin said emotionally. Justin's description made Mrs. Cooper laugh uncontrollably. "Mom, is it that funny?" "Oh my son can use such mushy words to describe her. This girl isn't simple at all. Tell me, where did this amazing conch girl come from? How did she captivate you?" "Forget it. I won't tell you first. I'll tell you when I successfully woo her." "This means that you haven't succeeded yet." Justin nodded. "Yeah, I haven't." "All right. When you do, bring her home and have a meal with me." "Mom, you will definitely like her very much." Considering how close Mrs. Cooper and Chloe had become, Justin was confident. So confident? "Well, she's a very, very nice girl." Justin used two everys to describe her, which completely piqued Mrs. Cooper's curiosity. After taking care of her son, Mrs. Cooper brought the bodyguards and maids home. When they bumped into Anne in the hallway, Mrs. Cooper didn't forget to ask him, "Did young master come into contact with any girls recently?" No. Young master has been staying in the hospital lately. It's inconvenient for him to move around, so he hasn't gone anywhere." "Could it be someone from the hospital?" With that, Mrs. Cooper left the hospital filled with curiosity. Justin stared at his IV in boredom. He felt that it was too slow, so he reached out and adjusted the speed of the IV. When the medicine was almost gone, he immediately pressed the bell. Sure enough, within 3 minutes, Chloe arrived from the on-call booth. "You're done?" Chloe glanced at the IV bottle. It was almost empty. Yeah, hurry up and change the dressing, Justin smiled. Chloe looked up and replaced it with a new IV. Then, she glanced at Justin. Don't take the IV so quickly. It'll be harsh on your stomach. Got it, Miss Nurse. Chloe was slightly surprised by Justin's greeting. Didn't they say that there was an ancestor living in this VIP ward? He was rumored to be a famous person in the city and had an extremely bad temper. Why didn't Chloe see a hint of violence on his face? On the contrary, she felt that he was a polite and patient person during their interactions. What the hell? Chloe was about to leave after replacing the IV. Justin picked up a large apple with his other hand. Miss Nurse. Chloe turned around. Justin threw the apple at Chloe, who caught it in time. What? She looked at him. Thank you for injecting me. I'll treat you to an apple. Ch. Chloe laughed, picked up the apple, and left. As soon as Chloe left, Anne walked in. Then, he saw his boss in a particularly beautiful mood. Why did he say that he was in a particularly beautiful mood? It was because he was whistling. As for what song he was whistling, and listened carefully and almost spat out, because the melody was, "Ask the sacred monk if his daughter is beautiful. If his daughter is beautiful." Isn't this the theme song of Journey to the West, Country of Women? What was wrong with his boss? Why was he whistling? And walked over quietly. Boss. Yeah? Did you win the first prize? And asked quietly. What nonsense are you thinking about all day? The lottery is all lies. They're just to trick idiots like you. Then that's strange. What made you so happy? Anne was puzzled. Justin rolled his eyes. Why do you care? Ever since his boss woke up from the car accident, Anne had felt that he was acting strange. At first, he thought that there was something wrong with his head after being injured. Later on, he heard from Mrs. Cooper and the doctor that other than ligament tears, everything else was fine with him. However, Justin insisted that he had traveled through time, or he had been reborn, which was popular these days. However, there was something he didn't understand. Why wasn't there Jack at this time? He even went to investigate Chloe's childhood. It was true that Chloe studied at Second High, and she entered the school as the top scholar in the middle school examination. Apparently, she received a full scholarship. Not only did she not have to pay for school, but she also received many school grants every year. Logically speaking, she should have gone overseas with these results. But why did she study at a third-rate university? It used to be because Chloe's stepfather had gotten into an accident, and it was related to Jack's family, causing the two families to become enemies. Now that Jack was not around, why did Chloe choose to attend a third-rate university? At that moment, Justin discovered something else. Without Jack, the tragedy involving James had also disappeared. So James was still alive and well in this world. Except that because his life was a little difficult, he went overseas to work. It was reported that he was working in Africa on a 2-year contract and had yet to return. Justin felt like the people and events around him were the same as before, including Brenton and Max. Even Chloe's best friend Sarah didn't change, including Anne, who was still by his side, and Zoe, Gianna, and Kira were still in the company. Then why did Jack disappear from their connections? What went wrong? The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Justin gave up thinking and just took a nap. Before taking a nap, he didn't forget to tell Anne, "Help me look after the IV. When the medicine is finished, get that nurse called Chloe to change it immediately." Anne nodded and was puzzled. The boss didn't even remember the name of his company's artist, so why did he remember the name of a nurse at Southside so clearly? Could it be that boss and her? Justin fell asleep. In a daze, he felt someone touch him. He got up from the ground in fright. Only then did he realize that he had unknowingly found himself on a vast grassland. In the distance were blue skies and white clouds. It was a beautiful scene, and the person who touched him surprised him even more. "Master!" Justin was so excited that he almost cried. Not only had he not dreamed for a long time, but he also had not expected to see Master Thorin again. "Rascal, how are you?" "What do you mean? How are you living?" "Now? It's especially good. I realize that I've transmigrated. Haha. I've returned to the past. Not only have I become younger, I've also seen many of my family and friends. They're all by my side. Justin wished he could tell Master Thorin everything in one go. Hearing Justin say that he had transmigrated, Master Thorin smiled. I'm still dreaming, right, Master? Justin touched the amulet around his neck and asked, Not bad. Now you know you're dreaming. Master Thorin smiled. Is my transmigration a dream too? Shouldn't I be in the incubus? Justin quickly asked his biggest question. Master Thorin looked at Justin for a while before speaking. Dumb little donkey, you've already escaped from the incubus. Justin was overjoyed. He was so excited that he didn't know what to say. He had indeed escaped. Master, where are you? I'll come find you. I have a lot of questions for you. Justin thought that whether he had been reborn or transmigrated, he should go and find Master Thorin earlier. Stop looking for me, boy. You won't find me. Why not? Master Thorin didn't answer. Instead, he looked at the amulet around Justin's neck and the red string around his wrist. Good job. Remember to always bring these two things with you. With that, Master Thorin's figure started to fade. Master, I still have many questions. Justin was extremely anxious, but Master Thorin's figure was gradually fading away. At the last moment, he heard Master Thorin say two words, Parallel Universe. Master, don't go. Justin woke up amidst his screams. Boss, did you have a nightmare? And hurriedly poured him a glass of warm water. Justin looked up at the ceiling. It was still Southside Hospital's ward. It seemed like it was just a dream. He gasped and gulped down the warm water. And where's my phone? Madam said that you haven't been resting much lately, so you cannot play with your phone. Cut the crap and hand it over, and didn't dare to say anything. He took out Justin's phone from his pocket and carefully handed it over. Justin turned on his phone with one hand and opened Google. After hesitating for a moment, he typed out two words, Parallel Universe. Then, all the information was displayed. A multiverse is theoretically a combination of an infinite or limited set of possible universes. The search engine displayed everything, including all space, time, matter, energy, and the physical constants that describe the physical laws. When Justin was still in school, he wasn't very good at science. He even blew up a light bulb during physics class. Therefore, to him, what he found was like a duck listening to thunder. He couldn't understand it at all. Then, Justin looked down. There was a simplified explanation of the principles of the parallel universe. He would probably never understand quantum or molecules in his life. But there was one sentence that he understood. It said that there were scholars who used this analogy when describing parallel universes. They might be in the same space system, but the time system was different. It was like two trains traveling on the same railway. The other was that the time system was the same, but the space system was different. It was like a car traveling on two floors of the overpass. Upon seeing this, Justin somewhat understood. But he was still confused. He continued to read, only to see that it was written again. When two parallel universes meet, some people will suddenly appear, whereas some people will be gone forever, and some will find true love. The parallel universe is a crack in space. It is a scary period because there is no future. No one can predict the future. Upon seeing this, Justin was once again confused. He put the phone down and closed his eyes, his mind racing. Why did his master tell him about the parallel universe in his dreams? Could it be that he did not transmigrate? Or perhaps he had transmigrated to a parallel universe? There was no Jack here. Justin's heart was beating faster and faster. He was not a genius, and there were many things that he could not understand. Just then, Chloe came in to change his last bottle of medicine. He opened his eyes and looked at Chloe for a while before saying, Chloe, I have an academic question for you. I heard that you used to be a top student. Chloe's hand paused for a second. Then she glanced at Justin. You know quite a lot. After changing the IV, Justin gave a look and tactfully left the ward. Take a seat. Justin smiled at Chloe. No need. Just tell me what it is. I have to go to the cafeteria to get food later on. Chloe was as arrogant as ever, as she crossed her arms over her chest. She was clearly just a little nurse, yet she acted like an attending physician. Her imposing manner really was uncomparable. Have you Heard of the parallel universe? After Justin finished speaking, Chloe laughed out loud. What are you laughing about? Do you have any other way to pick up girls? Is it fun to talk to me about such a profound topic? That's not it. I do want to woo you, but I really want to learn from you. Please teach me. Justin didn't even notice that Chloe's face was slightly red after he said that. Justin was probably the only person in the world who dared to say that he did not want to hit on her. Ahem, Chloe coughed lightly. Nurse, please enlighten me. Looking at Justin's pitiful expression, Chloe believed that he was just curious and didn't come up with a random topic to talk to her. There was no doubt that Chloe was a straight-A student, so when she was explaining the parallel universe, her theory was similar to the search engine results on Google. Justin still didn't understand. I mean, you'd better explain it to me in a simpler way, or I might not be able to understand. After all, I'm a bad student. Helpless, Chloe pushed up her black-rimmed glasses and asked Justin, Let me put it this way. Have you ever felt this way before? When you go to an unfamiliar place that you've never been before, for some reason the place feels familiar? Justin nodded furiously. This feeling had indeed happened before. As for his exact state of mind at that time, he could not tell. In short, it was a strange feeling. Also, when something happens, you feel that it has happened before, but you can't remember it. Yes, I've had that feeling before. Justin nodded vigorously, thinking that Chloe had reached the right point. Then, Chloe continued, The other situation is when you want to find something. You remember where it was, but you can't find it when you search through the place. Then, a few days later, you find out that it was just there. I really do. There was one time when I clearly remembered that my phone was by the sink. I couldn't find it no matter how hard I tried. I thought I lost it, so I bought a new phone. When I woke up the next morning to wash up, I found my phone by the sink. I really couldn't find it previously. It was too magical. Justin was extremely excited because he had experienced all of the phenomena Chloe mentioned. Chloe nodded. Although these situations have not been proven by science, many scientists have come up with the theory that time and space intersect and overlap. It means that you, in another parallel universe, had been to that place. So, when time intersects, you would have an impression of it. However, you did not go there in this universe. It's only because you had been there in the parallel universe. So you had an impression. The same goes for when you lose your things. Because at that moment, the parallel universe overlapped, and your things were taken away by you in the parallel universe. After the overlapping time passed, your things naturally returned. Of course, this saying is a bit nonsensical. Just listen to it as a joke. Chloe, then do you believe that there's a parallel universe? If I told you that I'm Justin from the parallel universe, would you believe me? Justin looked at Chloe, his eyes fixated on her. Perhaps she was the only person he trusted in this world. Chloe looked at Justin for a while, and then calmly replied, If I tell you that I'm Chloe, a beautiful girl from the Pandora planet, would you believe me? You should not stop your medication. Then, Chloe turned around and left. Justin almost laughed out loud. This wretched girl was still the same as before. Even her lines were so similar. You should not stop your medication. What a sarcastic remark. But how could Justin be angry? He was even eager to coax that ancestor. Although Justin found it hard to believe that it was a parallel universe, if he thought about it carefully. Perhaps this was the only way to make sense of it. If it was just transmigration, Jack would have existed. Could it be that there really was a parallel universe? Justin searched online for information about the parallel universe for a long time. He only put down his phone when his eyes were tired. At this moment, he suddenly had an idea. He took out his phone, opened Snap, and sent a message on his friend circle. Justin was a lazy person, and men weren't as emotional as girls. They would send anything they think of. Therefore, Justin's friend circle was relatively empty. He browsed through it casually. His last post on his Snap friend circle was 3 months ago. He had sent a link to a public event at Imperial Star Entertainment. Justin opened his Snap friend circle and slowly wrote, In a parallel universe, there could be another you. He would do things you didn't dare to do and live the life you always wanted. Within a minute of posting, he already had countless likes. Justin didn't even know who some of the people were. Max: Young Master Cooper, you've become so emotional, but I still love you. Justin replied to Max: Get lost, pervert. Brenton: A car accident created a philosopher. Justin replied to Brenton: Go ahead and insult me. Just you wait. Zoe: What's wrong with President Cooper? Is he in a bad mood? Gianna: No matter how many parallel universes there are, you will always be the king. Mrs. Cooper: Son, tell me what you want to eat tonight. Justin glanced at them, too lazy to reply. He lay on the bed and thought of another serious problem. If this was a parallel universe, there should also be another Justin. Then, where was Justin from this world? After all, he was an outsider. Could it be that Justin died in the car accident? And he swapped souls and stayed behind here? The more he thought about it, the more his brain burned. He decided not to think about it. Justin covered his head and prepared to rest. At this moment, he heard a commotion at the door. Miss Zoe, boss is resting. Don't lie to me. The boss just posted something on Snap. You're just a bodyguard. Do you not know what's good for you? I'm the boss's sweetheart. Obviously, the brainless Zoe and Anne were having an argument at the door. Then she barged in without a care. And let her in, Justin shouted, and pursed his lips. Zoe was even more arrogant. Did you see that? President Cooper told me to come in. Just wait for your bonus to be deducted, country bumpkin. Now that Zoe was famous, she didn't care about anyone but Justin. Even her best friends said that she was the woman most likely to marry into the Cooper family. Therefore, she was momentarily too pleased with herself. Zoe didn't know if it was intentional or not. She came in the middle of the night and only wore a silk dress. It was nude pink. Her long hair was draped over her shoulders, and she had Korean eye makeup on. She had even sprayed a classic Burberry perfume. She was still holding her Hermes bag, but the style had changed. President Cooper? Her voice gave him goosebumps. Thanks for tuning in to the Cool Audio Podcast. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow story lover. Until next time, stay cool and keep listening.